Hello, dreamers. Welcome back. Join us as we explore Paul's harrowing journey through the darkness, encountering chilling discoveries and a relentless monster. Will he find his way out, or will the shadows consume him? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below about tonight's tale, and don't forget to subscribe for nightly videos. Enjoy. In the late 1980s, urban exploration was a burgeoning subculture, fueled by the thrill of uncovering hidden corners of forgotten cities. Paul Carson was one such explorer, driven by an insatiable curiosity and the promise of adrenaline-pumping adventures. On a cold October night, he found himself standing before a rusted graffiti-covered sewer entrance in the heart of his hometown. The stories of the old sewer system had always intrigued him. Tales of forgotten tunnels, ancient machinery, and eerie echoes. Tonight, he intended to uncover its secrets. With a flashlight in one hand and a worn map in the other, Paul descended into the depths of the sewers. The air was thick with the stench of decay and stagnant water. Every step echoed ominously through the tunnel, the sound swallowed by the oppressive darkness. The flickering beam of his flashlight revealed graffiti-covered walls and the occasional scurrying rat. But Paul pressed on, determined to reach the heart of the labyrinth. As he ventured deeper, the passages became narrower and more convoluted. The map he carried provided little guidance, and he soon found himself relying on instinct to navigate the maze. Strange noises echoed through the tunnels, distant whispers, the sound of water dripping, and the occasional inexplicable thud. Paul's heart raced, but he dismissed the sounds as his imagination running wild. After what felt like hours, Paul stumbled upon a large chamber, its walls adorned with strange symbols and markings. He marveled at the sight, feeling a sense of accomplishment. However, his triumph was short-lived. As he turned to leave, he heard a loud crash behind him. Spinning around, he saw that the entrance to the chamber had been blocked by a massive fallen grate. Panic set in as he realized he was trapped. Frantically, Paul searched for another way out. His flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. In the dim light, he noticed a small, hidden passageway at the far end of the chamber. With no other options, he squeezed through the narrow opening, the cold, damp walls pressing against him. The passage led to a series of twisting, claustrophobic tunnels. The air grew colder, and the sounds of the sewers became more sinister. Paul's flashlight flickered again, and he smacked it against his palm, willing it to stay on. As he turned a corner, he stumbled upon a disturbing sight. An old, rusted maintenance room filled with decaying equipment. But what caught his eye was a series of Polaroid photos pinned to the wall, depicting scenes of terror and despair. The photos showed people, their faces contorted in fear, standing in the very tunnels he now found himself in. A chill ran down Paul's spine as he realized that he was not the first to venture into these depths. The realization that others had been here before him, had not made it out, filled him with dread. He had to find a way out, and fast. Continuing through the tunnels, Paul noticed the walls closing in, the space becoming even more confining. He could feel the weight of the earth above pressing down on him, the darkness threatening to swallow him whole. As he turned another corner, he came face to face with a monstrous, hulking figure. The creature's eyes glowed with an unnatural light, its body covered in matted fur and filth. It let out a guttural growl, and Paul froze in fear. The creature lunged at him, and Paul barely managed to dodge its grasp. He sprinted through the tunnels, the beast's heavy footsteps echoing behind him. The narrow passages twisted and turned, and Paul desperately searched for a way out. His mind raced, and his lungs burned with exertion. The creature was relentless, its growls growing louder as it closed the distance. In a moment of desperation, Paul stumbled upon a large rusted door. He threw it open and slammed it shut behind him, barricading it with a heavy metal bar. The creature pounded on the door, but Paul knew it wouldn't hold for long. He turned to find himself in another chamber, this one filled with old broken pipes and more machinery. The room was dimly lit by a single flickering light bulb, casting long and ominous shadows. As he caught his breath, Paul noticed a faint glimmering light at the far end of the chamber. He approached it cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. The light led to another narrow passage, and he squeezed through, hoping it would lead to freedom. The passage opened into a wide, circular room, the walls covered in strange, pulsating growths. The air was thick with a nauseating, sweet smell, and Paul felt a wave of dizziness wash over him. In the center of the room stood a massive, twisted tree, its gnarled roots extending into the walls and floor. At the base of the tree, a dark, bubbling pool of water seemed to pulse with unnatural energy. As Paul approached the pool, he heard whispers, faint but insistent, calling him closer. The voices grew louder, urging him to step into the water. He resisted, but the pull was too strong. He felt his willpower slipping away, and before he knew it, he was standing at the edge of the pool, staring into its inky abyss. In a final act of defiance, Paul reached for his flashlight and shone it in the water. The beam revealed dozens of pale, lifeless faces staring back at him, their eyes wide with terror. The sight sent a jolt of fear through him, and he stumbled back, snapping out of the trance. Determined to escape, Paul turned and fled the chamber, the whispers still echoing in his mind. He navigated the twisting tunnels, the creature's growls growing fainter and fainter behind him. As he rounded a corner, he saw a faint glimmer of daylight ahead. With renewed hope, he sprinted towards the light, his heart racing. Just as he reached the exit, a hand shot out of the darkness and grabbed him by the ankle. He looked down to see a skeletal figure, its eyes hollow and devoid of life. With a surge of adrenaline, Paul kicked free and scrambled out of the tunnel, emerging into the cold, crisp air of the early morning. He collapsed onto the grass, grasping for breath, and looked back at the sewer's entrance. The darkness within seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and he knew that he had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death. The horrors he witnessed would haunt him for the rest of his life, a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked beneath the city. Paul never spoke of his ordeal, but he did make a promise to himself. He would never venture into the sewers again. The echoes of midnight still haunted his dreams, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lay just beneath the surface.